Dear students of BA Part 1 having English in their subsidiary course, at first wish you a very warm and sunny morning. Dear students, the weather is changing. Cold is passing and warmth is taking its place. Weather is becoming very friendly bit by bit, slowly and slowly. And now it's the time for the festivals for the Hindus particularly, and one of the festivals that is knocking at the door is Saraswati Puja, which is to be celebrated on 16th of this month. Dear students, this goddess Saraswati, or the goddess of learning, has nothing to do with any religion or any community, because every one of us, the whole humanity, needs the blessings of this kind-hearted goddess, kind-hearted Lourdes, that is our Mother Saraswati. To worship Goddess Saraswati is to read, is to study hard with utmost sincerity, because Goddess Saraswati loves those students only who work, who study, who read with utmost sincerity, with utmost devotion, with utmost dedication. And if a student reads, if a student perspires, if a student devotes himself completely to his studies, he is not going to be disappointed by this great and gracious goddess. You must be remembering, my dear friends, that in two of my previous videos I have discussed a bit about Swami Vivekananda's essay, which has been prescribed for you in your anthology, that is Exploration of Ideas. And that particular essay which I am talking about is India, Our Motherland. And the present dilapidated condition of that particular period, when India was under the hold of the British Empire, when India was the colony of Great Britain, that condition, that dilapidated condition of the then period pains the essayist, pains Vivekananda a lot, and he gets perturbed. He is in deep anguish to see the dilapidated, see the very poor, see the very pitiable condition of the Indians. And in the very beginning of the essay, from the very beginning of the essay, he exhorts the Indians to come out of the cocoon of slavery. He tries his level best through his ideas, through his words, to pep up the spirit of the Indians. He wants that the Indians should rise. They should come out of the deep sleep of slavery. They must recognize their potency. They must recognize their power, their spirit, and they must stand up once again to become the Vishwa Guru, as India had been in its past. Then, in the very beginning, he says that if India dies, the whole humanity will die. Because with the death of India, almost all the spiritual values, all the moralities will evaporate, will die out from the whole world, and it will be very detrimental and damaging for the whole humanity. And with the loss of India, we will have the very loss of the humanity. And once again, he further in his essay tells that that time will not come. India can't die. It is not possible. It is neither viable nor possible for the world to get India wiped away or wiped out or expunged away from the map of the world, rather. Because if India is, there is virtues. If India is, there are virtues. There is morality. There is spiritual values. Then it pains the writer a lot when he finds selfishness ruling the roost among the mankind, among the humanity. He finds that people are hankering after power and wealth. They want to have more and more at the cost of spiritual values, at the cost of moral values. They do not love each other. They are inimical to each other. And the essayist knows it very well that if this condition continues, if this state of affairs continues, there will not be peace in the world. There will not be peace in the society. And a peaceless society, a society where there is no peace, can't grow, can't develop, can't go ahead. Therefore, he, in these lines, first I am reading out the lines for you. If you have the books, please open and turn page number 4. First of all, try to understand this. Does man make laws, or do laws make man? There is question mark. It means here the essayist is using the dialogue form. He is talking with his readers through his essays, through this essay or through these lines. Does man make money, or does money make man? He is raising some vital questions, some very important questions. Does man make name and fame, or name and fame make man? Be a man first, my friend, and we will see how all those things and the rest will follow of themselves after you. Give up that hateful malice, that dog-like bickering and barking at one another, and take your stand on good purpose. Right means righteous courage, and be brave. When you are born a man, leave some indelible mark behind you. Lives of great men all remind us we can make our lives sublime and leave behind us footprints on the sands of time. These lines are the last lines of the poem A Sham of Life, written by a great English poet, H.G. Longfellow. And these lines are revolutionary lines. These lines guide us to immortalize ourselves. These lines exhort us to do something for the whole humanity. These lines inspire us not to live for ourselves only, but to live for others. Life, it is not necessary, dear friends, that life must be long in terms of years. Life must be big. As great actor Mr. Rajesh Khanna in that great movie named Anand says, or tells rather, or says, or talks to Amitabh Bachchan, and in that dialogue he says, ये जरूरी नहीं है बाबू मोशाय कि जिंदगी लंबी हो, जिंदगी बड़ी होनी चाहिए. A man lives in his deeds, not in his years. Therefore, H.G. Longfellow, in that particular poem, A Psalm of Life, tells, lives of great men all remind us. जितने भी महापुरुष हैं, बड़े लोग हैं, उनकी जिंदगी हमें याद दिलाती है. Lives of great men all remind us. We can make our lives sublime. हम भी उनकी तरह अपनी ज़िंदगी को सबलाइम बना सकते हैं, ग्रेट बना सकते हैं, यूजफुल बना सकते हैं, इमोर्टलाइज बना सकते हैं. लाइव्स ऑफ ग्रेट मैन ऑल रिमाइंड अस. वी कैन मेक आवर लाइफ सबलाइम एंड लीव बिहाइंड अस. और अपने पीछे छोड़ के जा सकते हैं. एंड लीव बिहाइंड अस फुटप्रिंट्स, पद चिन्ह ऑन द सैंड्स ऑफ and leave behind us footprints on the sands of time. समय की बालुका राशि पर हम अपने पद के, अपने पैरों के निशान छोड़कर जा सकते हैं. For the other generation, for the next generation to follow, as we follow the footprints of those great personalities who have passed away. The same thing is being repeated here by Swami Vivekananda. He tells the same thing. There is a story written by John Rustin, and the title of that story is How Daddy Knew What He Wanted to Be. And in that story, that story describes or tells about a child. And that child, when interrogated by any person what he wanted to be, tells different things at different times. Sometimes he wants to be an engineer, sometimes he wants to be a doctor, sometimes he wants to be a rickshaw puller, sometimes he wants to be an ice cream seller, sometimes he wants to be this, or sometimes he wants to be that. But at last he is suggested by the writer that first of all he must try to be a man. And this is applied to all of us. We want to become engineer, doctor, professor, lecturer, advocates, lawyers, judges, etc., etc. We want to earn name and fame. We want to earn power and wealth. We want to earn, or we want to do this or that. We want to live our life this way or that way. But we forget the essential thing of life, that first of all, being a man, we should try to be a man first. Suppose there is a doctor, and he is a very famous doctor, very reputed doctor, skilled doctor, and you go there, or a patient goes there for his treatment, and that patient is suffering from appendicitis. The doctor cures him, but in the process of curing him, the doctor takes out one of his kidneys. The patient recovers from the pain of appendicitis. He is very happy. But after few years, he suffers from the kidney problem, and he goes to another doctor for checkup, and there he gets a very shocking news. The news which stuns him, that one of his kidneys has been taken out. Now suppose the doctor who has done this, can you say that he is a good man? No, of course, he is not. He might be a good doctor. He might be a skilled doctor. He knows how to operate. He knows how to do surgery. He knows the art of curing. He knows the art of transplanting kidney. Up to this extent, he is very skilled one. But he can't be termed good in terms of man. He can't be said, he can't be told that he is a good man. And if he is not a good man, how can he be a good doctor? Because if he has been good, if he had been good, he would not have done that grievous crime of taking out the kidney of that particular patient. Therefore, in the essay says that power and wealth do not make man. Selfishness does not make man. Name and fame do not make man. It is man who make name and fame. वो आदमी है जो प्रतिष्ठा को प्रतिष्ठित करता है. वो आदमी है जो सम्मान को सम्मानित करता है. सम्मान आदमी को सम्मानित नहीं करता, आदमी सम्मान को सम्मानित करता है, आदमी प्रतिष्ठा को प्रतिष्ठित करता है. Through his deeds, through his works, deeds which he do not only for himself but for the whole humanity, for his fellow beings with whom he shares his life, with whom he shares his happiness, with whom he shares his sorrow. Then why to be inimical to each other? Why should not a man be friendly to each other? Because man is a social animal. He gets his birth in society. He is brought up in society. And at last, after performing the tasks he has been assigned to by the Almighty, he breathes his last in society. So it is his responsibility, it is his uttardayitva responsibility, it is his duty to work for the society, to work for the fellow being with whom he lives. Therefore, in these lines, the essayist says that first of all, try to become a man. And if you become a man, name, fame, power, wealth, comforts, money, all these things you vie for, you long for, you desire for, will follow. Therefore, a man must try to be a man. A man, then he says, give up, छोड़ देना, त्याग देना, give up. That is, give up. Ramesh has given up smoking. रमेश ने सिगरेट पीना, धूम्रपान करना छोड़ दिया है. Give up. तो give up that hateful malice. Malice for whom? For whom we keep or for whom we gather malice. This world, this earth is not our permanent abode. We have been sent upon this earth for a time being, rather, for a fixed period. We have been sent here for a particular period, for a particular time, for a time being. So our existence upon this earth is temporary. We are the travelers. We have to travel, and after completing our journey, we have to pass away. We have to leave this world. We are not the permanent citizen of this world, of this planet, that is the beautiful earth. We have to leave it today or tomorrow, sooner or later. Then why not keep sweetness? Why not keep love for each other? So the essayist suggests us to replace malice with sweetness, with love, with care for each other. And then he says, give up that dog like bickering and barking. कुत्ते की तरह जो जहां जहां हम लोग लड़ते हैं. We bark at each other. We bicker, B-I-C-K-E-R, we bicker at each other. We try to snatch. A man is ready to snatch the bread of another man, like a dog. A dog can do this because there is a great difference between a man and a dog. Man is considered to be an intelligent creature, wise creature, witty creature. And a dog, no doubt, dog too has its mind, it has its own intelligence, it has its own brilliance. But if you compare the mind of dog with the mind of man, with the intelligence of man, of course, dog is lagging far behind. So let dog fight, let dog bicker, let dog bark at each other. It behoves of them. But the same thing does not behove to man. And take your stand on good purpose. And right means righteous courage. Your courage should be righteous. We should fight. We must have the courage to fight against the ills, against the odds, against the evils of the society. Like the great people like Lakshmibai, like Subhash Chandra Bose, like Raja Ram Mohan Rai, like Vivekanand, who struggled throughout their lives, who waged war against the evils of the society and tried their level best to galvanize the whole system, to galvanize the whole society. For whom? For the sake of humanity. They did not do all these things for themselves. They did all these things for their fellow persons, fellow beings, for their brothers, for their sisters. And be brave. Vivekananda tries to inject boldness into the veins of all the Indians. And he exhorts them, he suggests them to be brave. And how can you be brave? When you are not selfish, when you are unselfish, when you think for others and not for yourself, when you do not go after any evil deed, naturally bravery pulsates in you. You become brave. You become a man of character. When you are born a man, leave some indelible mark behind you. और कहते हैं कि अगर आपका जन्म आदमी के रूप में हुआ है तो धरती छोड़ने के पहले leave some indelible, अमिट, which cannot be wiped away, which cannot be expunged away, जिसको कि आप मिटा नहीं सकते हो, which, as I have mentioned earlier, and which I am going to reiterate rather, which I am going to repeat once again, the lines of H.G. Longfellow, Lives of Great Men, all remind us we can make our lives sublime and leave behind us footprints on the sands of time. So, dear students, dear friend, go through this very energetic, inspiring and revolutionary essay. Try to understand what does the essayist want to say or want to express in the essay. The essay is continued in next video of mine. I will try to elaborate some of the important lines of this particular essay. Till then, have a very nice time. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your health. Do something good for the society. Be a man. Be brave. And go ahead and achieve the goals of your life with right means. Thank you. God bless you all.